In this demo, we are going to use the Software Licensing Manager to look at some of the licensing options. Every operating system since Windows Vista and newer on the client side and Server 2008 and newer on the server side, they ship with a built-in script, this slmgr.vbs, which stands for Software Licensing Manager. But this is built into every operating system, and it has several parameters you can use to modify scripting. So we're going to look at a few of those common parameters and see how this script actually works. To look at the activation options, we can use this built-in script. You can actually go to Run. So I'm just going to right-click on Start on my Server 2019 and then Run. I'm going to type slmgr.vbs. Now this will give you a bunch of pop-up windows. I'm going to minimize my server manager so that's a little easier to see. But this tells you you could insert a product key. If I needed to add a product key, maybe you didn't enter a product key initially, you could do that through the GUI, or you could script it with this IPK, which is install product key. If you wanted to activate, if you want to display licensing information, if you want to see when your current license expires. But if you click OK, this just keeps going. If you wanted to clear the product key from your machine, if you wanted to uninstall a product key, a lot of things related to volume licensing, you'll see this key management service or KMS, lots of options for that. But if we click OK again, still options related to our KMS. You'll see if I wanted to do things like change the port that KMS listens on, which is actually port 1688. You could change the port. So lots of options show up here. And this just keeps going. If I wanted to use AD-based activation, I could use that. So a lot of options there. Now, we're not going to go through each of those individually because it's more than 50 options total. What we will do is actually go to the command prompt. Or you could use PowerShell. I mean, either one. But I'm going to pull up the command prompt. And in the command prompt, I'm going to type slmgr.vbs. Now, a few common options we can use. One is XPR. Stands for expiration. If I want to see when my license expires, when I run that, it tells me that this edition we're using right now, time-based activation, will expire on 9/29/2021. Because this is the eval copy, that's what it tells me. If this were on my host machine, this would tell me that we are permanently activated. Now, these commands execute exactly the same on Windows 7, Windows 10, so you can run these on your personal machine you're actually using, and it'll give you the same information. So that's the expiration. Another one, slmgr.vbs/DLI all. This DLI stands for Display Licensing Information. So you'll see, gives me the name. We are Server Data Center Eval Edition. Description of the operating system. Time-based eval, 180 days. I can see a partial product key. Now that was automatically embedded in the operating system. We didn't insert it or type it in. It's just part of the eval. And I can see that this is licensed, which really just means we're activated. And I can see the expiration. So we'll OK for that. The other slmgr.vbs DLV all, or /DLV all, I should say. When we run that, you just get more detailed information. Now, because this is an evaluation version, it's not a lot of information it actually gives me here. Just pretty basic. Name, description, a lot of overlap with the DLI, but I can see the activation URL that was actually used. If you would have run this on a non-evaluation version, or even your local Windows 10 machine, you would get a lot of additional information that would actually show up. But the common ones are the /DLI and the XPR if you had any questions about licensing or the expiration of licenses or anything related to that.